Good morning. Welcome to what day is this? Oh yeah, a Wednesday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Yeah. And Hudco Roofing. HudcoRoofing.com. Vacation Scone, peeps. Vacation Scone. How about it? Getting out of here. And LSU's about to name baseball coach. It's all good. Let's say some good mornings. Not going to do a super long show. I wish I had one stream now so I could, instead of two different devices, so I could show you all what Erica's packing looks like. Very organized. Very excessive, but very organized. All right, let's say some good mornings. I know everybody's excited or interested in what's going to happen here with the coaching search. I told Mike Bianco's meeting with Keith Carter, the athletic director at Ole Miss, this morning. There is a good possibility that Ole Miss offers Mike Bianco an extension, however, not a pay raise. So very mixed in Oxford as to whether or not they want to keep Mike Bianco, and it seems as though the money in Oxford is ready for a change. So if that is in fact the case, then you're not going to be able to offer Mike Bianco a raise. So if LSU comes in with more money than Ole Miss is willing to offer, then Keith Carter likely shakes Mike Bianco's hand and says, "Thank you for all you've done, and best of luck at LSU." So I would assume we're going to get that answer today. I would say Thursday at the latest. Now, if Mike Bianco turns LSU down, then the real fun begins. All right, let's say some good mornings. Hey, babe. Kirk Taylor, good morning. I got up at 2:30 in the morning to pee, and Erica was still in here packing. Kirk Taylor, Truax, what's up, man? Pat Huseman, Mark Sagona, Jerry DeLucky, Blaine Smith. Woodward will leave if Board of Supervisors doesn't let him do his job. Blaine, are you trying to trigger me on the first day of my vacation? Huh, Blaine? Is that what you're trying to do? Are you trying to trigger me? Hi, Drew. Good morning. Okay. Here you go. Blaine, I feel like you're trying to trigger me here before my vacation even starts. Bubba Tatum, morning from Lafayette. What's up? Bubba and Lafayette. What are you doing in Lafayette, Bubba? Shouldn't you be in Tampa? Hey, Dad. Good morning, Cody Anderson. Kirk, did E-Rock put my Hudco in the mail? I don't know. Not my business. Not my business anymore. She's doing it, not my business. Ask her. Ed, they're asking if you put Hudco hats in the mail yet. Yes. Yes. Ed Check. Ed Check, who's sitting in for you on the show. So today is Jumbo Ronnie Rants. Tomorrow, T-Bob. So T-Bob will do Thursday. He'll pull some double duty. Very appreciative of that. Friday is Terrio and question mark. Really don't know. Monday is, I believe Brian Holland is doing Monday from WVLA. If I have my days correct. Renato doing Tuesday. Ron Higgins. Ron Higgins and Jacques are doing Wednesday, Thursday. I don't remember what order. Next week. And then next Friday, Terrio and question mark. The only thing I don't have is who's going to sit there with Terrio for 3 hours. I don't know. Maybe it'll be Terrio solo. Wouldn't that be fun? Jeff Stipe. So we're riding with Bianco. If Bianco accepts it, and I expect he will. Kelly Presley, good morning. Brittany. T-Bob's debunking your statement how Coach O'Leary cokered his way to the 2009 championship. Okay. All right. I would gladly debate anybody on that. the great irony about that. It was a great year. But the great irony about it is they won that championship because of Joe Burrow. They got Joe Burrow because they gaffed the 2018 signing class and didn't get a quarterback, which necessitated them going after a grad transfer, which ended up being Burrow. They got Burrow because of Jimmy Burrow's relationship with Bill Bush, primarily. Bill Bush was here because Dave Aranda handpicked him. Dave Aranda was here because Les Miles hired him. So, yeah, I'd say there was a lot of circumstantial things that went on that had nothing to do with it. Hell of a year, though. I wouldn't trade for anything. Joey Vincent, good morning. Trivia Carter, good morning. Tim Gotro, Tad Page, James Tyrone, Matthew Rudiger. Would you still be going on vacation if LSU baseball is still alive? Hell yeah, I would. Had this plan. Deuces. Peace. John Sager, morning, Matt. It's funny how some local podcasts steal your info every day and make it theirs. Enjoy listening to you. Keep it up. Well, I don't know who that is, John, and I would just encourage you that if people are stealing info and they're not attributing, call them out for not giving attribution, and or just don't listen. Nicholas Cantrell, good morning. Happy first day of vacation. Thank you, man. Strong Side Sports and Collectibles. David Wallace, what's up? Joshua Smith. What do you think happens if misses out on Bianco and Godwin? Well, they won't miss out on both. If LSU offers Godwin, he'll take the job. I don't believe they will offer Cliff Godwin the job. I think I'm not sure why the Advocate reported that Godwin and Bianco is where the search has focused, because I don't believe they're going to offer the job to Cliff Godwin. I believe he was the fallback early in this process, and when some information came to light, I don't think he was strongly considered. Maybe they've softened that stance, in the event that Bianco does not accept the job, but I have very good reason to believe Bianco will accept the job. James Tyrone, good morning. Brady Smith, morning, Matt. Enjoy vacation. Headed to Gatlinburg on Saturday with the fam for a week. We'll both be in that area. How about that? Jamie Hodges, good morning. Chance Mercante, really torn on Bianco. This postseason thing really has me worried. It should, Chance. It's a legitimate thing. It's not to say it changed. No, I'm going to put that in the car. I can turn that. Look, I got the car adapter. I can put it on in the car. Huh?
You are?
Yeah, just put it right here.
Put this in the...
Yes.
I'll put this by yourself. I'll just pack it with the stuff we need.
Got it. Perfect. Let's see. Rap in batches. What's up? Did you ever find out about the rally frog in the dugout? I did not, Chance. I need to find out what that was about. I need to get that answer. Justin Frank, Matt, if Bianco is the guy, what's your outlook on his tenure here in your opinion? I'll be very interested to see what he does with staff. Interesting, Todd Walker said he would like to be considered for hitting coach. I can tell you that that's not the first time Todd Walker has mentioned wanting to be a hitting coach at LSU. I would say similar to how Kevin Mawai was interested in being the offensive line coach when Les was here. And Todd was interested in getting that job under Maneri. And didn't really work out, but obviously. But yeah, I don't think that's new, right? So I'll be interested to see. I think Nolan Cain will have a great chance of being retained, as I understand. Nolan basically has been doing the recruiting for LSU, and has great ties, with coaches locally, with obviously the elite circuit, and played at LSU and is really respected and works his butt off. I mean, I think it'd be great if they retain Nolan in some capacity. Anyway, so your outlook for his tenure. Justin, I'll tell you, you better win in the first 2 years because you're going to have a loaded deck. And it's not to say you can't bring in more great players after that. Of course you can and will, but it's one of those things where the cupboard isn't. It's not like when Paul took over in 2007 and Smoke had really stopped recruiting, and you had nothing. I mean, and Paul had to recruit and build that roster that became Renato and Coleman and Jared Mitchell and Matuk, and you know what I mean, like that the core, the LeMahieu, that core, that championship roster. They had to build that, and this your core is in place. You know, I'd love an elite front end starting pitcher, and maybe guys on this roster can become that. But anyway, Justin, he better do it in the first 2 years. Let's see. Tim Gutros saw the Todd Walker interview on AFR. It was really interesting. It would be nice to have two-strike approach with the hitters. I think some people maybe took that the wrong way because I tweeted that. And that was not in any way meant to be an insult to anyone, just emphasizing that that's something Todd Walker always talks about. Like, as long as he's been coming on my show, every time I ask him about hitting, he always talks about a two-strike approach. Like, when he showed up at LSU, his thing was, he wasn't trying to hit 400. He just made the determination that he wasn't going to strike out. So, and he put the ball in play enough and had good things happen, and obviously it worked out really well. So, that's something I think largely is missing from baseball in general today, as everyone tries. That's why strikeouts are way up in Major League Baseball, because everyone's trying to hit home runs. Nobody goes and protects the plate with two strikes. I think that would change. Let's see. Bianco is meeting with AD Keith Carter this morning. It says he hasn't even heard from LSU. That's just false. Blake, I don't know. Blake Robinson, I don't know. Doggone it. I just got a text.
Huh?
What?
You don't know me?
I got a text about, this is the third time now I've been on Morning Scone and I've gotten a text about the coaching stuff. Ugh. All right, let me see if I can see it on my phone. Or on my watch, rather, instead of there. Let's see. Oh, no. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Okay. I did see it on that. Yeah. The chat's collectively holding its breath. It's basically, what do I want to say? I don't think the text I just got is in any way a swinging momentum of anything anymore. Mike Bianco's meeting Keith Carter today, the Ole Miss athletic director. And Mike is being very quiet about the whole thing. I think some are assuming he's waiting to see how that meeting goes. But as I understand it, Keith Carter is prepared to make Mike Bianco an offer of a contract extension. Remember, 2 years ago, they did not extend his deal. They did extend him last year. But as I understand it, Ole Miss is not prepared to offer Mike Bianco a raise. So for LSU, this becomes really easy, right? Offer him more money than he's making. And when he goes to his athletic director and says, here's my offer, and he says, well, we're not going to match that. You got your guy. Oh, but if he says no. Whew. Brian and Annie Pitt, good morning from the other Big D, Denver, headed to Oregon. Going to go make the trip to Pasadena. There you go, man. So, Brian, you saw it. Oh, that's great news, right? Y'all saw that yesterday? LSU and UCLA will be full capacity at the Rose Bowl. Rose Bowl will be 100% capacity this year, which is fantastic news. So if you want a ticket to the LSU UCLA, you will be able to get it at a reasonable price. Let's see. Brock Pendarvis, where y'all headed? Ready to Pigeon Forge. We always do a family vacation with Erica's peeps, and my little nephew Eli, who y'all have seen, is doing the travel ball thing now that his team has a tournament up there. So We're just going to do the family vacation in that area while he goes and plays baseball. Let's see. Corey Gotro, Sam Bacon, Buttermaker. Deborah Coward, good morning. Jerry DeLucky, watch out for bears. Hey, man, I've said that a bunch. Not super high on the idea of seeing a bear in my backyard. Have Terrio bring in Demouy and Cougs. How about that? Oh, for the show. Oh, I thought you meant like to be the coach. It's not a bad idea, especially if Bianco's the guy, to have a bunch of people that know Mike well and to kind of do a roundtable. I think it's a really good idea. Terrio and the new hitting coach, Todd Walker, on Friday. Kelly Gross, good morning. Scotty Mack, what's up, man? Good to see you there. Jonathan Martin, good morning. Breezy Bro, did you find it odd that Childress isn't getting talked about for the LSU job, but in general? No, not really. Typically, coaches try to stay ahead of their resume. You know what I mean? Like, it's not good to get fired, ever, obviously. But look at trying to think of an example. Normally you see this with football coaches a lot, where guys, I'll give you like a bigger, more well-known example. When Gary Croton left LSU to go be the Maryland offensive coordinator. Yeah, you don't leave LSU to go be the Maryland offensive coordinator. It was like, hey, you should start looking for a job. That's typically how that goes. So that would have probably been good for Rob Childress, but he was coaching for his job through the season, and it didn't go well, obviously. So it's tough to hire someone who's been fired, especially someone that's later in their career. Let's see. Kirk, I'm annoyed that Jordy and the gang keep trying to pump Vitello up in how he's the savior. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. Look, Vitello did really well at Tennessee this year. I can just tell you he was never realistically considered as a candidate for LSU. In every conversation I've had, no one has brought him up as a realistic candidate. And I think Tennessee's about to break him off, so I think he's staying there and he's going to be good. John DeRoche, who's going to be the starting quarterback? John, if I had to guess today, I think game one, it's Miles Brennan. But I do think both will play and will start throughout the year. But if you ask me who takes the first snap of the season, I would tell you Miles Brennan. Shelby, let's say it's Bianco. If he brings in Walker and keeps Kane, do they bring in a volunteer to be the pitching coach, or do they leave it 100% up to Bianco? That's a good question, Shelby. They could bring in support staff, but remember, Nolan also was a pitcher. I'm not saying Nolan is going to be the pitching coach, but Mike Bianco has handled his pitchers, so that's less of a concern, right? Like that's important. He's a guy that was a catcher and has handled his pitchers at Ole Miss all these years. So, Brian and Andy Pitt, Mr. Funds has, so our guy Jason Ramazan over at Mr. Funds does have travel packages for the LSU UCLA trip for those that are interested. It's charter air, hotel, includes a game ticket, pregame party, bus transportation to and from hotel and game, etc. I've traveled with Jason a ton over the years. I mean, the first time I went on a trip with Jason was 2009, and he does an awesome job. So if you're looking to do a travel package for the LSU UCLA game, could not recommend him highly enough. Let's see. Shelby, what are your thoughts on sticky substances in the MLB? Whatever. If the players want it, I don't care. I'm good with it. That doesn't move me. I saw the interview with Tyler Glasnow when he was blaming his UCL injury on not being able to use a sticky substance, which made him change his grip. And maybe he's right. I don't know. Let's see. He's always shout out to Brock, y'all. The Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. You need an orthopedist, you go to Brock. Old buddy Brain Haldane tore his meniscus. Was at Brock yesterday. Saw Dr. Winder. And of course, Hudco Roofing. HudcoRoofing.com. Unfortunately, storm in the Gulf, y'all. It is that time of year, unfortunately. make sure your roof is ready. If you have any issues or you're not sure if you have any issues, like look up at your roof. Look up at your roof, and if it looks old and dirty and crummy compared to new, pretty roofs, you might have an issue. So let us come do an inspection. It's free. We'll get someone on the roof for free and look at it to make sure that you're okay. And you know what? If you have a roof issue, guess what? We will file the insurance claim and work with the adjuster and get your claim approved and get you a new roof. So holler at us. HUDCOroofing.com. Pat Usman, every time I look at Drew Bianco on the field, he reminds me too much of the character that played Jeremy Giambi in the movie Moneyball. Now, if we lock up the hire of his dad, I'm going to constantly visualize Drew dancing on the tabletops in the clubhouse. I saw Moneyball once. I don't remember it, though, so sorry. I'm sure that's an awesome reference. I just don't remember. Randy Dabdoob, what's up? Let's see. Scotty Mac, what positions does Bianco or whoever else should they focus first to help the team? You definitely need power bats in the lineup. It's something that LSU largely hasn't recruited lately under Maneri, the guy that is there to stand on first base and slug homers. You got to have the bat in the lineup that's just going to plant himself in the middle of your order and hit. Maneri has largely avoided that guy because if he doesn't hit, then it's a wasted roster spot. Gave you all an example of a guy a couple weeks ago. I can't remember his name now. 3 or 4 years ago, they had a guy on the team who was that guy. The JUCO guy who was supposed to just slug homers, and he couldn't hit at this level, and so he basically just was a wasted scholarship. But you need to find that guy. You need to find power bats in the middle of the line. Craig Dugas, Matt Mike, Sauces, just informed me LSU's basketball school. Nice. Bill Schmid, good morning. Jamie Leday, thank you. Shelby, I took a class on reading facial expressions and body language. With that being said, Scone knows something we don't. You heard it here first. Scone always knows things that most people don't. I don't know why, but I do know why people talk to me, because they trust me not to spill the beans and be a good steward of information. Hey, Lane Ward, hope Sam Burns back holds up and plays well. That's right, U.S. Open this weekend. Josh Long, East Tennessee is beautiful. California, beautiful. Craig Dugas, enjoy the liquor store's Baugh tourist trap. My nephew just got back from there. Weller 12 for $4.50. Hard pass. Cale Reynolds, what's Bianco's coaching specialty? Again, worked with pitchers. He was a catcher. He's worked with pitchers his whole career. Brandon Atchison, sad to see how baseball program has regressed. Also watching Mississippi State and Arkansas play in postseason in their stadiums, how electric the atmosphere was. So in fairness, Brandon, we didn't see the box this year in the postseason, which is part of your point. I get it. But the box in the postseason is packed, and it's a great atmosphere, and it's awesome, and it's fun. We just didn't get to see that. We saw the box this year at 25 and 50% capacity for a team that wasn't very good for most of the season, right? So that's not exactly a fair apples-to-apples comparison. State and Arkansas have awesome top 5 teams that are now in Omaha, and their fans were jacked about it. And they have great facilities and support and all that stuff. But LSU was also 2 wins away from Omaha. So they got a good core. Rami Kasem, anyone know when UCLA LSU single game tickets go on sale? I do not, Rami. That's a UCLA question. Like, you would have to get a single game ticket sold through UCLA. Unless if you're an LSU season ticket holder and you get your tickets through LSU if they don't have maximum season ticket requests. But I'm assuming that the LSU allotment's going to go like that. I don't know what the number is. I could ask Brian Broussard, but my guess is that it's going to be somewhere in the 8,000 to 10,000 range, tickets for LSU fans through LSU. T-Bob is Thursday, so we should tune in for the Coach Show interview. Maybe so. I'd be thrilled. I'd be pumped if you got O on AFR. Breezy Bro was just curious. Thought I'd ask, but good point on Childress. Oh, all good. Travis Roy, what's up? Ole Miss ponies up to keep Bianco. Is it you're feeling Godwin is the fallback, so the concerns don't matter? Travis, I will maintain that LSU's not going to hire Cliff Godwin. Boy, that would be a major 180 from the feeling expressed, not too long. I mean, just within the past few weeks. That would be, I mean, that must be a real feeling of desperation. I mean, if Bianco says no, which by the way, I do not believe that Mike Bianco will tell LSU no. I believe that Mike Bianco will accept the LSU job if formally offered. He's got his meeting today with the Ole Miss AD. We'll see how this all transpires, but my guess is that he will accept it if formally offered. And he's making 1.3 at Ole Miss. My guess is LSU will be somewhere in the 1.5 to 1.7 range, and I think he will accept that. That's my guess. I would just be flabbergasted if LSU did an about face and made Cliff Godwin their coach. And it's not that, I mean, Cliff's been a head coach at ECU for 8 years. He's been to the postseason 5 of the 8 years, 3 super regional trips. I mean, he's the kind of guy where there's just enough of an unknown where you go, man, young guy, tons of energy, he's had success at a lesser program. You give him these resources, boom, right? Like, there's that intrigue with Cliff. But I tell you, man, I would be very surprised if LSU did an about face on their feeling on Godwin at this point. That would certainly show desperation. Yeah. Brian Wynn, Matt, you can level with this. Terrio's going to be the next head coach, and you'll be looking for a new co-host on Fridays, a job opportunity for trivia. No, Brian. Remember, if Terrio's the next head coach, then I get to be Coach M. I get to go be the special assistant to the head coach. I leave radio and get to go be on staff. That's how this works. Remember? Craig Duncan, isn't it interesting? LSU started 1-8 against Vandy, Mississippi State, and Tennessee, and those are the teams in Omaha. Great point. Great point. Cracks me up on people constantly questioning you like you don't have more information than everyone else. Like, come on, people. You obviously have connections and people close to the deal. Yes, Shelby. Yes. But people can choose to believe whatever they want. Like, the way I've always said it is, like, I don't have to convince you if my information is good or not. Just follow along throughout the years. Do I come across as credible? Have I ever told you something that was just not factual and completely erroneous? I mean, that's just how credibility is built. I mean, so you make your own decision. If you don't want to believe anything I say, that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and beg you to believe me. I mean, but there's 68 people watching on YouTube and 126 watching on Facebook. Yes, some people believe what I say. The text whisperer. Let's see. All right. By the way, if you're on YouTube, thank you for watching. Please hit the thumbs up. There's 68 watching on YouTube right now, only 24 likes, and we are trying to grow that YouTube channel. If you've not done so yet, please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Just massively helpful. If you hit the bell, it'll notify you when we go live, all that good stuff. So thank you. Colton Mack. Morning, Matt. What's the main reason O'Sullivan deal fell through? My Florida fans say I'm crazy for saying LSU and Sully were talking terms and assistant coaches. Your Florida fans are wrong. I will not tell you the reason. If I was going to disclose that, I would have done it by now. But I will tell you again, that process, informally, of LSU via intermediaries beginning the conversations with Kevin O'Sullivan began some 8 weeks ago. It was like 2 months ago. They were so far down the line with that. Yes, they had discussed money. Yes, O'Sullivan was already discussing assistant coaches, staff. Yes, all of that happened. Very, very, very much so. And fell apart. And left LSU kind of looking for plan B. Smoke just got fired at North Florida. Did he really? Was he? I didn't know he was still there. The Dolphins, right? Brady Smith, yesterday booked my flight to LA for Labor Day weekend. Fortunately, I have a friend getting married in LA the day before the LSU game. That works out well. Jamie Hodges, Matt just came back from the area. If you go north of Sevierville, maybe 20 minutes, they have a ton of small distillers that are fantastic. Good to know. Thank you. Blake Robinson, how did Vitello become the nation's most hated baseball coach? baseball is just a much more cordial game, right? It just, I mean, I get it that people throw at each other and there's the unwritten rules and all that stuff, but generally speaking, you know, baseball, I mean, you have all these unwritten rules, right? You don't show people up and all that junk. Well, he's counterculture to all of that, and so it turns a lot of people off. That's why, and then and he's won. So I mean, if his team stunk and he was doing all that, no big deal. Nobody's paying attention to him, but he's winning and doing all that, and that's why some people don't like it. Like, it doesn't totally bother me. I mean, I like bat flips and pimping home runs, and I like him doing front flips into his team and all that stuff. But I do get that he's abrasive, and he hasn't won anything yet to be that, out there. But he's getting attention for his program, and I would compare it you know what I'll compare it to? I'll compare it to when Lane Kiffin was hired at Tennessee. When Lane Kiffin was hired at Tennessee back in 2008, I believe it was, he did a lot of the same stuff. Do you remember when Alshon Jeffrey committed to South Carolina over Tennessee, and Lane Kiffin said, "Hey, good luck, you'll be pumping gas the rest of your life. You go to South Carolina, you'll be pumping gas the rest of your life." Like, Lane did a lot. He was brash and abrasive, but it got attention for a program that was just struggling. So, or I guess he was hired maybe at the end of 2008 and then coached the 2009 season. I think that's how. Anyway, that's what I would compare it to. Bobby, men's basketball, baseball, football. Who wins the national championship first? I mean, just on history, I would say football. I mean, basketball's never won it, so that's hard to predict. Baseball has become the sport to where more teams are able to win. I mean, look at Coastal and some of the, more programs are able to win it, which makes it even harder. Football is something LSU's won 3 times since 2003 and played for it 4 times, so I'll say LSU football. Let's see. Eric Wilderotter. I feel like Jordan Thompson will be the Deculus of the baseball team. Tons of starts at the end of the day, just insanely average. Would you look to the transfer portal at shortstop? No, not at all. I think that's not really a great take at all, Eric, actually. There were a bunch of times this season where we looked at Jordan Thompson and said, damn, he's crazy good defensively. Maneris called it, compared his arm to Bregman. Remember the throw he made home earlier this year? And Maneris says, one shortstop I've had that could make that kind of throw, and it was Bregman. He had a little trouble with the throw to first, accuracy on the throw to first late in the season, but come along. I mean, true freshman who wasn't even expected to be your starting shortstop. So, no, I think sometimes just the expectation, okay, he's not Alex Bregman, who won the Brooks Wallace Award as a true freshman. Okay, who is? Is Drew adopted, or is it just coincidence that he looks nothing like Mike? Oh, Bianco. I thought you meant my Drew. I was like, my Drew is definitely not adopted. I was there. I was there for all of it. Trivia. I'd be honored to be a guest co-host. Guest, not guest. And no, there will never, ever, no disrespect to any of you. And I don't mean this in any way to be insulting, but there will never be a listener that ever hosts my show. And I'll tell you why. And it's not to say that you don't have good thoughts or opinions or any of that stuff. There is so much at stake every time that microphone's open in way of the very, very high dollar amount of advertisers that sponsor the show, the fact that Guarantee has the LSU Sports Radio Network contract, and that's something we always have to be mindful of with how we carry ourselves. There's no way I could ever let someone who doesn't understand and again, I don't mean for this to be insulting. It's just there's no way you can possibly know the inner workings of how everything goes. If someone were to go on air and get a wild hair and decide to say something super controversial or try to be brash or fire the coach, or it's just the potential fallout or of taking the risk just isn't worth the payoff. So no, there will never be a listener that hosts my show. Sorry, I love you, Trivia. But no. And that wasn't just directed at you. That was just in general, so people know why. Like a lot of people do this. Hey, win the opportunity to guest host today. No, I'll never do that. Ever. I said Bianca wanted the LSU job the most, and you said no. I said Bianca wanted the LSU job the most, and you said no. When did you say that, Blake? And I wouldn't say that. You'd have to give me more context around that. The thing with Bianco is I'm not convinced like he's aching to leave Ole Miss. I know he feels underappreciated at Ole Miss. And I know when LSU was hiring after Smoke, was not interested in the job. He was getting Ole Miss cranked up at that point and getting them rolling, and he was not interested then. At this point, it's a little different. But I really believe that if Keith Carter came back today and said, Mike, listen, this is your program. We believe in you. We want you. We're willing to match whatever LSU offers, that he would stay. I just don't think that's going to happen. I think sometimes after 21 years, things go stale and people are ready to move on. I think that's where Ole Miss is. That's my read on it. Trey, oh, you told me the other day, Trey, because I mispronounced it. Did you say Haydet? Haydet? Because the thing said like High Day or something like that, and I think you said Haydet or something. What was Maneri's salary? Maneri was making one. Did Maneri bump up to 1.3? Maneri's either 1.1 or 1.3. They gave him the raise after. Oh, he was 1.2. There's 1.225. So, I think Mike Bianco is making 1.3 at Ole Miss, if I'm not mistaken. Mike Bianco's making 1.3. It's so funny. It's like his base pay is like 270. It means boosters are footing the bill for the rest. So if you want more, then you go back to the booster and say, hey, he wants more. Like look at the Kim Mulkey contract. If you actually look at the Kim Mulkey contract, so Bianco was 1.2. So Bianco's making 1.2. Maneri was 1.225. So basically making the same. So if LSU says, hey, Mike, look, you're making 1.2, we'll give you 1.5. And if Bianco goes back to Keith Carter and says, hey, they offered me 1.5, Keith Carter's going to say, we're good, thanks. That's my opinion of how it'll go. Let's see. Blake, thanks for answering questions. Have a happy and safe vacation. Thank you, man. Well, look, done Morning Scone every day for 1,179 consecutive days. So we'll be here tomorrow. Just you know where we'll be? We'll be in Birmingham tomorrow. So we're doing half the trip today. So we're gonna drive to Birmingham, stay the night in Birmingham, wake up, and drive the rest of the way tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll be live from Birmingham, in the belly of the beast. I guess just recency bias on Thompson's last few games on my part. Enjoy the vacation. Yeah, that's kind of what it is, Eric. He had a really nice season. Blake, while O'Sullivan and Casey were still in the mix. Well, Casey only became in the mix because O'Sullivan wasn't anymore. That's where I think the timeline might be confused for some. What I'll tell you is Mike Bianco was not initially LSU's fallback. Cliff Godwin was. Mike Bianco only got in the mix when LSU was looking for a safer hire. Apollo Balboa 1985. Matt, what are the fewest amount of wins O can get this season to avoid the hot seat? Ooh. I believe if they go 7-5, he will not be retained. Or that's at least where it gets really, really, really dicey. 6-6, he's for sure gone. 8-4, depending on how the 8-4 looks. 9-3, he's safe. Colton Mack, thanks for putting up with us, Matt. Have a great vacation. I mean, I love y'all. Seriously, y'all spend part of your day with me. I spend part of my day with you. Like someone said earlier, it's like we're kind of a family. I think it might have been Shelby. He's right. It's like people have been here for the birthdays and birth of children and anniversaries and surgeries and you know on days when they buried loved ones, and we've been through COVID together, and Shoot, man. Y'all are my peeps. Ronnie Dugas came here to do the thumbs up, but don't see it. Okay, so Ronnie, if you're on mobile, X out of the live chat. That's where on YouTube. X out of the live chat, and then you'll see the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, and then tap live chat again, and you'll see the comments populate. I think that's the problem a lot of people have. If you're on YouTube and you don't see the thumbs up, that's where it is. So thank you very much, though. Let's see. As always, y'all, shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Of course, when I had my knee surgery, I had it at Brock, Hudco Roofing. Let's see if we can get a couple of more. Then I gotta load up the car so we can get on the road here in about an hour. Oh gosh, I gotta go back. Where's all? Craig Duncan, everyone has connections, LOL. At least that's what they say. The only ones who know are Woodward and the other two that works with them. That's not exactly true, Craig, because the way you cultivate sources is understanding that in a negotiation or a coaching search, there are two sides to that search, right? There's the LSU side and there's the other side. So while I believe ultimately Scott Woodward makes this hire, there are people around Scott Woodward, and then there are people on the other side. There are people close to Mike Bianco, just like there are people close to Kevin O'Sullivan, just like there are people close to Dan McDonald. You understand? So whenever you spread your wings and you cultivate sources in all of these different areas, you piece it together. That's why you just never singularly source at anything. That's why when we were talking about the board story that started spreading, I was so adamant about that because whoever that was spreading that, it's why you didn't see it from any legitimate news source, because the way a story like this comes together, I say it's kind of like a puzzle, and a lot of people have a piece to the puzzle, and you have to go get different pieces of the puzzle from all these different people, and then you make it fit on the puzzle board. Like, that's how you ultimately do a story like this. You don't take one piece of the puzzle and make a declarative statement. Coaching searches don't work like that. You have to multi-source your information to make it all fit. So when 5 different people independent of each other are all saying the same thing, you know you've hit on something now. Could you work for Terrio? Sure. Do you wear a uniform as a special assistant? Absolutely. Wearing the uniform. When you get back, you'll have to give us a report on all the moonshine and whiskey you sampled in Tennessee on Nightcap. I'll do it. Bianco needs to wear pinstripes on the weekend series. I'm with it. The Gumps are moving to the West Coast Conference. Craig, hey, Matt, safe to say LSU doesn't introduce a new coach this week. It means they're waiting for a coach still in coaching, particularly Corbin. I think the Corbin pull is next to impossible and not going to happen. I think they are going to announce a coach. I think they're going to announce Mike Bianco. If not today, I would say tomorrow. Tomorrow latest. They just got to move. If LSU didn't have the title line mess and the big black cloud, do you think they would have hired O'Sullivan? Yes. With absolute certainty, Zach. With every fiber of my being, I will tell you that if LSU's Title IX situation was not going on right now, that Kevin O'Sullivan would already be LSU's baseball coach. I will say that with 100% certainty. Now, he'll never say it on record because he's coaching Florida. And LSU officials won't say it on record because they've got to sound like they're supporting their new coach and they did a legitimate search and they've got the best guy. I mean, that's the way it's going to go. But, yes. Brock Pendarvis, not to knock anyone, but do you think the Bianco situation could be similar to Coach O? The different thing, here's the difference, Brock, with Bianco and Ogeron, and everybody knows how I felt about the Ogeron hire. We don't need to rehash that. Y'all just understand how I feel and still feel. But Bianco's been a coach for 21 years and has had great success. He just hadn't had the ultimate success. He hasn't won a championship. Ogeron had been a head coach one time and was an epic failure. He was 3-21 in the SEC. Literally no one was going to hire that man to be a head coach. Literally no one. So that's the big difference. Why not stop and stay in Tuscaloosa? We'll pass. Any possibility Corbin leaves Vandy? Just to get away from the Vandy Whistler? Maybe. Lenny Moss, I'm doing the dishes while watching Morning Scone. Family. There you go, Lenny. Hope all's well, man. John DeRoche, you're my boy, Matt. You're my boy. Thank you, John. You're my boy. Jared Wrinkles, Todd Walker as hitting coach, Ben McDonald's pitching coach. We can dream. Todd said yesterday, hell, he said it again on AFR that he would be interested in having a conversation about the hitting coach position. But I'll tell you this again. All the time that I've known Ben McDonald, he has never expressed to me any desire ever to coach. I think Ben is quite content with the life he has. Getting to call games and getting to hunt and fish and travel and watch his kids play ball and all this. I don't think Ben is eager to do bus rides to Starkville. All right. I think we're just about done. Did you find a van or an RV for your trip? We did not, Merrick, unfortunately. Blake Robinson, chances Coach O is fired by Halloween. I would say 0. Well, not 0. I'll say 6%. Rocky 3 or 4. Rocky. Entertainment value. Rocky 4. I think Rocky 3 is super underrated though. LP can't believe we had a chance first. Sully would have liked for LSU to get the best in the country. Oh, they had more than a chance, bro. It was done. But as I always say, it's never done until it's done. Troy Bear, wish you have read the comments during AFR. Also, you would read the comments during AFRC. Troy, you got to understand, man, it's just it's a completely different format. I mean, this is continuous, it's interactive like that. Like, AFR is 12 10-minute segments where people, how they use radio is they're in and out of their car and generally consume between 16 to 20 minutes. It's the average commute in Baton Rouge. Like, that's generally how people get you in 16 to 20 minute bites. This is continuous. People stay, hang it. Like, it's just different. You have to move. You have to be able to keep people engaged and tease next topics and shift and pivot. It's just a completely different format. So, and as far as like comments during the show, if when it's productive on the show, I'll engage. But man, it's just, when I go to break, I have a 3-minute break. After I do my live read, I got 3 minutes. And in that 3 minutes, I'm going over what my next segment is, reviewing my talking points, what audio am I using, what video am I using, what live read do I have, like engaging Matt and Paul into all those decisions. It's just, I have to maximize that time that I can't just stop and just read comments during the break. Anyway. I got you. All right, y'all, we're done. I gotta go. Load up the old family vehicle for our big trip to the mountains of Tennessee. We are mountain people, E-Rock. We are mountain people, E-Rock. We're gonna go cook our food in a skillet and fight off grizzly bears, and we're gonna hike the mountains and leap over trickling streams and watch the birds in all their majestic beauty and such. And we're gonna build our own campfire by rubbing sticks together.
Sitting in the fire pit.
And we're gonna kill our dinner
There's bears everywhere.
with a stick.
I don't want to talk about those bears.
I'm gonna wrestle a grizzly bear. That's what I'm gonna do while we're there, Erica, in the mountains. Because I am an outdoorsman. That's what I am. I'm gonna grab a fish right out of the water and I'll choke it. And then I'll put it on the fire that I made with my own 2 hands. Because that's what men do. I'm gonna cook our dinner. That's what I'm gonna do. Yes, Brendan Lorkey. I'm gonna make my own moonshine. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get all the ingredients that I make and Shine my moon. That's it. That's it.
There you go.
And then we're gonna find a wild stallion out in a field, and I'll tame him, or her, him, stallion, him. I'll tame that stallion, and he'll become my friend. And I'll ride bareback up the hills as he takes me to a place where we can drink fresh water out of a stream. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do on our trip, our family vacation. Yes, that's how it's gonna happen on this family vacation. Chances of A&M winning the West, 15%. Give Canizero a shot. Not happening. All right, we're done. Y'all have an awesome day. We will check in with you for tomorrow. Scone is definitely a man's man. Matt, will SEC Media Days be normal this year? Yes. July the 19th, Monday, July the 19th through Thursday, July the 22nd in Hoover, Alabama. I will be there. We look forward to it. Shop at Bowie. All right, I gotta go. All right. If you say family vacation one more time, I'm calling you Clark Griswold. Scone from the mountains, because I'm a mountain man. That's what I am. Okay. Y'all be awesome. Be well. See ya. Peace.